Paige Beckers, the hand-picked heir to Caitlin Clark's throne, walked into Seattle with the glow of her 44-point explosion against the Sparks still fresh in the headlines. That performance had been trumpeted as a coronation, proof that the hype around her wasn't just hot air, but destiny fulfilled. ESPN sang her praises, analysts gushed about her efficiency, and the league itself seemed eager to crown her the face of the future. But Seattle had other plans. Instead of rolling out banners and applause, they rolled out blitzes, traps, and relentless defensive pressure. The result was nothing short of a reality check that echoed across the league. Beckers didn't just stumble, she collapsed. 11 points on 2 of 11 shooting, 0 assists, and 2 lonely rebounds. For the first time in her career, she wasn't playing against a defense content to give her space. She wasn't floating free like it was a college scrimmage. She was being treated like Caitlin Clark, hounded, bodied, and doubled before she could even cross half court. Seattle's coach Noel Quinn said it outright before tip-off. It was time to see if Beckers could handle the Caitlin Clark treatment. And when the test came, she failed. What the Storm exposed wasn't just Beckers' limits in a single game, but the fragility of a media narrative that had been spoon-fed to fans for months. For too long, the Paige Beckers story has been sold as prophecy. She was the next one, the chosen one, the player destined not just to follow in Clark's footsteps, but to surpass her. The headlines practically wrote themselves. Paige was more polished, more efficient, more prepared for the pros game. They pointed to her stats like gospel, fastest to 200 points and 50 assists, edging Clark by a game, a 47.4% field goal percentage compared to Clark's 41.7%. It all looked airtight on paper until someone actually played her like she was Clark. Until Seattle sent multiple defenders, showed bodies at every angle, and forced her out of comfort zones. Then all those percentages melted away like sugar in the rain. The contrast with Caitlin Clark couldn't have been sharper. For over a year, Clark has endured defenses designed to break her. She's been targeted with a level of physicality that borders on brutality. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the 2024 season were committed against her alone. Teams didn't just guard Clark, they attacked her. They made it personal. The Chicago Sky practically built a side hustle out of bodying her, accounting for 80% of those flagrants. Yet Clark endured. She delivered highlight threes, and from 30 feet found open teammates out of double teams, and kept dragging the Indiana Fever not just into respectability, but into playoff contention. She did all of this while carrying the weight of an entire league's popularity on her shoulders. Beckers, meanwhile, coasted. Her big scoring outburst against Los Angeles. It came against a team that didn't bother guarding her. 80%. Shooting and 44 points look legendary in a box score, but they're meaningless when the defense barely contests. Seattle flipped the script and the mirage dissolved. 2 makes on 11 attempts. No assists. A line that read less like a superstar and more like someone overwhelmed by the stage. Clark has been asked to live in that storm since day one. Beckers got one night of it and she folded. The excuses came quickly. She's still recovering from her ACL tear. She's shaking off rust. She just had an off night, but those words ring hollow when you compare them to Clark's journey. Clark never got a grace period. She never got soft entries or light defense to ease her into the league. She walked straight into a firestorm, and instead of crumbling, she thrived. That's what separates hype from history. Clark is writing history every night, while Beckers is still trying to prove she belongs in the same conversation. Seattle didn't just beat Beckers, they left a blueprint. Guard her like Clark and she struggles. Blitz her and she gives the ball up without a fight. Body her and her efficiency evaporates. Other teams watched and they'll copy it. Suddenly, those smooth mid-range jumpers and open looks won't be so easy to come by. Suddenly, those gaudy percentages that made her look like the more polished rookie will come crashing back to earth. And once that happens, the narrative falls apart. It's worth remembering what Clark has actually done. She turned the Indiana Fever from basement dwellers into playoff contenders in her first season. She set attendance records, drove national TV ratings, and sold merchandise at unprecedented levels. She didn't just elevate her team, she elevated the entire league. Beckers? She was drafted number 1, given every opportunity, and the Dallas Wings still limp to a 928 record. No playoffs, no surge in ticket sales, no cultural moment. The difference is as clear as night and day. One is generational, the other is manufactured. Fans see it now. The Emperor has no clothes. The Paige Beckers coronation dissolved under the harsh lights of reality. What ESPN and the WNBA tried to sell as the next great rivalry was nothing more than a hoax, a glossy highlight reel masking a fragile foundation, because you can't fake greatness. You can't force-feed fans a narrative they know isn't true. Clark isn't just another star. She's the kind of transcendent athlete who comes along once in a lifetime, like Serena Williams or Tiger Woods. You don't manufacture that. You don't anoint it. It reveals itself in the fire. On August 22nd, 2025, the illusion ended. It wasn't Paige Beckers' coronation. It was her exposure. It was the night the media's desperate attempt to clone Caitlin Clark collapsed in real time. Fans didn't just see a bad game. They saw the curtain ripped back. They saw that all the stats, all the headlines, all the proclamations were built on sand. And when the storm came, it all washed away. Caitlin Clark remains the gold standard, the player rewriting history with every step on the court. Paige Beckers is a nice talent, but she isn't Clark, and after Seattle exposed her, she may not even belong in the same conversation. The WNBA and ESPN would do well to stop manufacturing hoaxes and start appreciating the generational player they actually have. Because fans aren't buying the hype anymore, they're buying into Clark. So what do you think? Did Seattle officially end the Paige Beckers experiment? Is this proof that the media's obsession with creating the next Caitlin Clark is doomed? From the start, let us know in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next.